Your topic is hobbies. Your question is, what do you like to do for fun? Your answer is, I like to do this, I like to do that, and I like to do that. Your verb was, I like to do this thing. So I like to bowl, I like to fish, I like to ski. Your vocab was skiing, bowling, fishing. And all of a sudden we're talking about fishing, and fishing is now the new topic. What's a good question about fishing? Where's the last place you fished? Let's go to the pasado, past tense on the timeline. Timer. Done. Se acabó el tiempo. All right. See how that's why it's an infinite conversation generator. Topic, question, answer, verb, vocab. Vocab becomes the new topic. You could just roll on this thing, like just roll forever. I just finished filming day 9, and anyone who's been paying attention to every day so far in the video course already knows Spanish. Like, believe it or not, by day 9 you already know Spanish. You're free to at least journal, if not converse in real life, infinitely, using the infinite conversation generator that we developed in day 9. The link to the video course is in the description. Enjoy. Hola, bienvenido a día 9. Tengo 30 minutos en el reloj. Día 9 en tu cuaderno. And all of my OPI fun is over for now. I'm by my lonesome again, here at a bustling cafe. And to begin Día 9, let's talk for a second about how whatever's happening right now is the thing that you should be able to talk about in Spanish. Why? Because there's no time like el presente. Talk about where you are. Talk about what's going on. Whatever you're talking about is your topic. So on my first line, I'm going to write the word topic. There is a Spanish word for topic. It's tema. Maybe I should have written tema, T-E-M-A. Well, write topic or write tema, and you're one step ahead if you write tema. But anyway, the tema is the topic. Now, the whole theme of Día 9 today, hoy, is we're going to create something that I like to call an infinite conversation generator, or maybe we'll call it a infinite journal generator. On Día 8, yesterday, we talked about how the construction of the language, the tools that we use, verb cups and lingua blocks and verb timeline, how all of that is leading into sort of a free writing stage. And today is going to be a bit of a bridge further toward that free writing stage. So infinite journal generator. All right. And the way it works is this: your topic or tema flows into a question. It's very easy to imagine that. If the topic is skiing, the question is, you like to ski? Well, you ever been skiing? When's the last time you went skiing? Whatever the topic, bowling, I don't know, sailing, like fishing, I don't know, whatever, coffee is, whatever the tema is, it flows into una pregunta. It's pretty warm today. It might be snowing where you are. Whatever the case may be, el clima is a good topic. So just to get this ball rolling, let's pretend that the tema that we've decided to journal about today is it's the weather. It's el clima. All right. So let's do this. El clima. There's more than one question the obvious is, how's the weather? And is that a 3, 2, or 1? Well, it's an open-ended question. Who, what, como, how, happens to be like a 3, an open-ended question. And it's a good question. So what if we said, ¿Cómo está el clima today? How do we say today? Hoy? It's a good question. ¿Cómo está el clima hoy? Practice asking me. Pretend someone's here. Go find someone. Call or phone a friend and say, hey, ¿Cómo está el clima hoy? And what we're going to do is let our tema, which flows into a pregunta, the pregunta, question, has multiple answers. For me, it's, oh, it's hot today. For you, it's snowing today. And for someone else, it's foggy, right? There's a different answer every day. My answer is hace mucho calor. If it's very hot where you are, say hace mucho calor. Maybe in your case it's very cold, or for me next week, if you asked me that day, I would say, oh, now it's very cold back in Chicago, something like that. So the answer could be, this could be a daily journaling practice, right? You don't answer how's the weather just once in your life. It's could be a daily thing. You could go out of your way to make it a daily journaling thing. That's the idea. Oh, it's very cold where you are? Okay, well then say hace mucho frío. I can think of more than one question that flows from the topic. If it's the weather, is it warm? Is it cold? Is it raining? How's the weather today? How was the weather yesterday? What's the forecast for tomorrow? Tons of questions you can come with around the same topic. And no matter what the question is, there's a bunch of answers, depending on where you are and depending on what day it is. It's an infinite conversation generator, infinite journaling generator. Okay? Now, the verb cup, or verb starting point, or the verb block that we use to say hace mucho calor or hace mucho frío. Try it with me. Say, oh, hace mucho calor, or hace mucho frío, right? If you looked it up, if you found this in the textbook, it would explain how the verb hace literally means it makes. So you're actually saying it makes much heat, or like it makes much cold, okay? That's one of those points where people could come across it and go, oh man, that's why, what? Like it made, like, I can't believe it, because that's not how I say it in my native language. I've never, ever in my life, it's never occurred to me, and if I grew up speaking only English like I did, to say it makes much heat. That's weird, okay? So at this point, we can introduce something that I like to call language suspension of disbelief, okay? This is a very important psychological tool. Suspension of disbelief, it's like when you're watching a movie and like they're actors, but you'd agree to just suspend your disbelief so you can like play along with the story. When you suspend disbelief in terms of something in a language, you're agreeing to say, okay, that's not, how I've ever thought to say it, but fine, that's what we're doing. Like, that's how this language works. Fine, I'll go with it. So if I'm supposed to say it makes heat, hace calor, or it makes frío, hace frío, the sooner I can get over that and just suspend disbelief and say, okay, fine, that's what we're doing, the quicker I can just choose. It's multiple choice. It's either hace frío or hace calor. Pretend there's only two choices, either hot or cold, let's say. Well, it's more hot than it is cold, so hace calor. For you, it's a little cool, but fine, I'm going to say it's cold. Hace mucho frío. Just think of it as multiple choice. You have two options, and they're both in Spanish. That's the beginning of thinking in Spanish. I'm not thinking about how you say something in English, and then trying to translate it in my head, and then coming up short, going, man, what? Just tell me how the weather is. And if you don't have someone right next to you to tell them how the weather is, let your journal be your practice partner. That's why this is the infinite journaling generator. The verb cup was hace. So I want to take special note of the verbo. Say it with me, verbo. I'm just writing it still in English here, but extra credit if you can write verbo. Just add the okay. Let's take special note of what the verb was to talk about that whole topic of the weather, right? Well, it was hace XYZ. So I can say hace this, hace this, hace that. See how we did that? So verbs flow into what? Verbs flow into vocabulary. That's the complete uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. 5 elements of the generators. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco elementos de este concepto. Topic, question, answer, verb, vocabulary. We're going to continue. We're going to do even more with this within the next 20 minutes that we have. 21 minutos. Hace frío. Hace calor. Hace mucho calor. Those are all vocab variables that stem from hace, right? So the next time someone asks you about this topic, el clima, a good question might be, well, how's the weather in Boston? You know, ¿cómo está el clima hoy en New York, or whatever your question is? They're gonna, the answer is gonna be hace mucho calor, hace mucho frío, hace da-da-da. All right. Grab another topic or tema. And let's say that the tema this time is whatever's happening around you. So things that happen, okay, like that's the theme. It's just stuff that goes on, all right? So things, everyone, is, do you know it? It's cosas. That's stuff, okay? That's things. There's only one, there's no word for stuff. It's things. It's cosas, okay? So cosas, things that happen. How do you say that? Stuff that happens. It's cosas que pasan. Pasan is your verb. It's things that happen. The end there is plural for cosas, if you're curious what's going on there conjugation wise. But cosas que pasan, it's stuff that happens. Cosas, say it with me. Cosas que pasan. Someone told me once that they like to sit at a cafe like this, and you know how sometimes people sit and sketch, you know, like they sketch a drawing of the skyline and stuff like that. You could sit down with a notebook and say, okay, all I'm going to do right now is look around, and in my journal, and on another day, another page, and instead of drawing what's happening, see if you can draw it in Spanish, right? So right now I can see 3 people sitting at a table drinking coffee. So how do you say, I can see 3 people, there are 3 people? How would I do that? Well, you know how to do it. Like, we already have, it's verb vocab. It's there are 3 people. We had that verb already. Hay 3 personas, okay? I loved that. Someone told me they did that, and I didn't even think of that. It's like, that's you're sketching your world using the tools of Spanish. Like, what better way to practice than that? The question, or pregunta, say it with me, pregunta, around the tema, cosas que pasan. Good question would be, what's going on? Which is, ¿qué pasa? A lot of people know that. Hola, what's up? What's going on? ¿Qué pasa? So what's going on right now? ¿Qué pasa ahora? So, ¿qué pasa ahora? All right. Well, a good answer to that answer is respuesta. Say it with me, respuesta. So a good answer, una buena respuesta, could be anything. It's wide open. What's going on right now? Well, I'll tell you where I'm at. You do it too, right? So I'm going to say estoy en un café. Just fun way to say cafe, just like English, right? Well, to begin with, estoy en un café. And I'm just going to draw a block around estoy, knowing that that's the anchor, that's the thing. I can say estoy en un café, you can say estoy en casa, someone else could say estoy en el trabajo, estoy here, estoy there. The whole verb vocab thing is built into the respuesta, you know? So estoy en un café, I spelled something wrong there. It should be estoy en un café, as in I'm in a café. Estoy en, that's un. All right, so estoy en un café ahora. You could say estoy en casa. Later on, you could say estoy en el wherever it may be. Okay? What else is happening? Well, I have is a good verb starting point. Tengo. What do you have? Where are you and what do you have? Tengo X, Y, Z. I have a coffee. Tengo un café. I have a phone right here. So tengo, my phone is mi teléfono. Say it with me, mi teléfono. I didn't know I was going to learn the word for teléfono today. I didn't know. There's no textbook that says this is today's vocab list, and a fuerza, you have to learn those words. Like I have to, like I'm in chapter 7 of my school, and so now my class, and now for some reason today I just have to know all of like the eating utensils, and I'm just, man, like no wonder Spanish class is so hard. I'm being asked to learn all these things that I don't need. Only learn what you need. This journal template is just a way to uncover what you need. Okay, well, what do I have? Tengo un café, tengo mi teléfono, and I have my bag where I carry my camera. So tengo mi bolsa, everyone. If you have a bag next to you, say tengo mi bolsa. And I don't know what else you have. And you have a salt shaker, that I don't know, you have whatever you have, you'd say tengo this, tengo that. So what's going on right now, everyone? ¿Qué pasa? Ask me, Tony, ¿qué pasa? I say, estoy en un café. It's very hot. Hace mucho calor. Tengo un café. Tengo mi teléfono. Tengo mi bolsa. What else? How do you say what else? What else is ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? We just let those, I call them useful expressions. Just let them float around. ¿Qué más? Just interjection. We've mentioned that before. It's no different than hello. It's just ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? Man, I don't know what else. ¿Qué más? I need to turn my page. You may or may not. Mi tema can be whatever it may be. So pretend your tema is XYZ. Right? Multiple questions that branch out of the topic, the tema. Let's see if we can bring the verb timeline concept, work that into the mix here. So if your tema is XYZ, and we already know that you can ask any question you want around that tema, as long as it makes sense. What if your possible questions sort of cascaded onto the verb timeline, which is, help me out here, pasado, say it with me, pasado, presente, futuro. That's the verb timeline. Right? Think of any topic in the world. Pretend the topic was, el tema is viajar, which is traveling, right? Just take the verb viajar, and that's how you say traveling. So anything about viajar. Think of a lot of questions to ask about traveling. Do you like to travel? Where's the next place you would like to travel or plan? Where's the last place that you traveled? All of those questions. I'm going to go Q here just to set up the format. Can you ask me a question in pasado about travel? Sure. Last place you went, how was it? What did you do? Where did you see? Who did you go with? List of questions in pasado coming out of that tema. Present tense questions in general, right? Do you like to travel? Sure, of course, what most people do. Me gusta viajar. Question for you. Te gusta viajar? Future tense question, where are you planning to travel? Okay, so what if the topic, which flows into what if those questions had the possibility of being either left, right, center, pasado, presente, futuro? Okay. Too many options. I'm like a decision paralysis. I'm like, where do you even go from here? Present tense question. You like to travel. Te gusta viajar? That's my question. My answer is sí. Me gusta viajar. Put a little block around me gusta, because I know that's my verb starting point. I've got topic, question, answer. Topic, question, answer. That's the number one. That's the essence of this generator. It's topic, question, answer. If you want to get better at Spanish, just think of a better topic with a better question. If you want to get better at Spanish, ask better questions. Like think of, if you can find someone to speak with, that's the ultimate thing. Really puts you to the test. But if I'm here alone and just want to use my journal, mi cuaderno, mi diario, diary, like journal, say it with me, diario, as my practice partner, I can do that too. Okay? 9 minutos. Past tense question around the tema viajar could be, where did you travel? Literally to where, which is a dónde. ¿A dónde viajaste? Pretend we're talking about the last place you went. So where did you travel, Tony? Say, ¿A dónde viajaste? My answer, last place I traveled is viajé. Give me one place you traveled to. Say viajé a X, Y, or Z, or all of the above, right? You could say viajé a. You traveled to, Canada. Say viajé a Canadá, so viajé a Italia, viajé here. So question for you, ¿a dónde viajaste? As soon as I have that conversation partner again, I'm prepared to talk about this. I prepared myself to talk about this topic, and that topic. So I'm not going to wait. I'll bust out my notebook and just be like, here, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions until I'm fluent in Spanish. Like, tema, okay, viajar. ¿Te gusta viajar? They'll say, oh, sí, me gusta viajar. ¿A dónde viajaste? And then they'll say, viajé a Mexico, or viajé a Colombia, or viajé a Francia, whatever they do. All right? And where are you going to travel? ¿A dónde? Future pattern. Do you remember this? We've done it a little bit. Vas a viajar. ¿A dónde vas a viajar? Next summer, next year, you can sprinkle in some detail if you want. Just write it in there. It's like, ¿a dónde vas a viajar? El año que viene. It's the coming year, whatever it is. You're asking me, ¿a dónde vas a viajar? Okay. I can tell you, voy. Classic future. This is how you talk about, I'm going to travel. You say, voy a viajar. Say it with me. Voy a viajar a XYZ. That's my verb starting point. Voy a viajar a XYZ. Verbs contain vocabulary, all right? So ask me, Tony, ¿a dónde vas a viajar? Primero Dios, voy a viajar a Brasil, voy a viajar a Italia, voy a viajar a Argentina, voy a viajar a here, voy a viajar a there. If we retraced our steps back up this waterfall, back up this branchwork, retraced our steps from the ultimate, the end of the line here, which was just a vocab word, like, hey, how do you say Cuba? Oh, it's Cuba. Okay. What's the verb I needed for that vocab? Voy a viajar a Cuba. Why am I even saying that? Well, because that's the answer to a question. And why are we even talking about questions? Well, because it's held together by a topic. If there's no topic holding your Spanish together, then there's no context. And if there's no context, then you're just doing theoretical Spanish learning. Like, I'm coming away from that Spanish class saying, yeah, well, I think I memorized like 20 words today. And they're all like, wow, amazing, you learned 20 words. And it's like, yeah, okay, but something's not right, you know? Like, I still feel that empty feeling. It's like, something's not right here. And it's like, well, who are you speaking with? And you're like, no one, I just memorized these words. And they're like, well, what are you saying with those words? Nothing. I'm not saying anything with those words. I just memorized them, I guess. And are you answering a question? No, right? I'm not. No. And is there a topic? Is there there's none of that. It's just like I'm just memorizing words for the sake of it. Topic equals context. Topics flow into questions. Questions flow into answers. Answers reveal the verb and the vocabulary. As our final wrap up here, I hope you can take that concept and just go, yeah, you know what? I am free to talk about anything in the world in Spanish. I have all the tools I need right in front of me, and it fits on a tiny little square that is my notebook. To wrap it up here, let's take that same topic, question, answer, verb, and vocab concept, and we're going to make a little 5-point star. So draw me a little puntito, a little point, a punto, like right here. Come down like 2-3 lines, draw one equally on this side and that side, as if you were drawing a triangle. Then come down 3-4 lines from there and just draw 2, making like a triangle this way. It obviously doesn't have to be perfect, but that's it, okay? Now, the top thing that holds it all together is your topic, right? If you can't think of a topic to talk about in Spanish, then don't even worry about Spanish. You don't need it. If you have no context whatsoever, no one to speak with, you're just on a desert island and there's no one to talk to, why even bother? But I want to talk to people. I want to ask them questions, and I want to be asked questions. So we know that topics flow into questions, right? But not just one question. There's multiple questions on topics. So I'm going to draw 2 more like hypothetical, like it could be this question, could be this question, or it could be that question. Okay, it's going to be the ultimate visualizer of the format that we've done today, okay? We know that for every single question you ask me, there's at least one good answer to it. But in many cases, there's way more than just one answer, because if you ask me how's the weather, I could tell you 3 different aspects of the weather, and if you ask me on another day, I could tell you 3 different things about, every day is different. And so questions flow into answers, but not just a single answer, they have multiple answers. Based on my answer, I extract the verb, and I put that in its own little cup, put it in its own little button, knowing that that's my verb. Probably choose a few different verbs on the same answer, So such and such, such and such, such and such. More than one way to, phrase something in terms of your answer. And verbs flow into vocabulary because verbs contain vocabulary. So here I've got vocab. I don't know why I underlined it. It's whatever. Verbs contain vocab. I have, tengo, XYZ. I like XYZ. I want XYZ. I'm going to XYZ. I can XYZ. I just saw XYZ. Verbs contain vocab, and because vocab is that variable, there's more than one vocab that any verb cup can hold. Okay? 1 minute, 20 seconds. 1 minuto, 20 segundos. A while back, I was showing a friend this. His name's Walker. Got a shout out to him for this. He said, you know what's funny about this? Once you'd make one trip around the circle, around the wheel, and you hit your answer, you hit your verb contains a bunch of different vocab. Often when you land on some new piece of vocab, that becomes the new topic. So to complete the circle, come full circle. Vocab leads back into another topic, all right? So real quick trip around the wheel in 30 seconds, 30 segundos. Your topic is hobbies. Your question is, what do you like to do for fun? Your answer is, I like to do this, I like to do that, and I like to do that. Your verb was, I like to do this thing. So I like to bowl, I like to fish, I like to ski. Your vocab was skiing, bowling, fishing. And all of a sudden, we're talking about fishing, and fishing is now the new topic. What's a good question about fishing? Where's the last place you fished? Let's go to the pasado, past tense on the timeline. Timer. Done. Se acabó el tiempo. All right. See how that's why it's an infinite conversation generator. Topic, question, answer, verb, vocab. Vocab becomes the new topic. You could just roll on this thing, like just roll forever, generating topic, question, answer. There's no limit to that. It's an infinite journaling generator. Hasta luego. Ciao.